Hello and welcome back to another segment of Saved by the Bell. I'm Haley.
I'm Caitlin.
And in this segment we'll be arguing which is the best type of silverware, a spoon or a fork. Caitlin, your thoughts?
I'm gonna have to go with the spoon here. I just feel like you can eat soup with a spoon. You can stab things with a spoon if you really wanted to. And it's just like you can't eat soup and liquids with a fork.
I think if you're really hungry, a spoon comes more in handy because you can get more.
Yeah,
It's like
you can get more.
you can shovel that in with a spoon.
Yeah.
A spoon is a mini shovel.
Yeah. That's
Exactly.
for sure. You can scoop anything with a spoon. You can cut things with a spoon. I mean, a spoon's just like everything all in one. I find that at my house, we're always out of forks, so I always am going for the spoon, and I think that might just be one of the reasons why I would choose a spoon over a fork, is because I'm always, I have to choose a fork or a spoon. But, I mean, I've, made different ways to eat foods with this spoon. I found out you can eat so much more than you think with a spoon.
Well, that might contradict your thoughts because you're saying everyone in your house uses a fork.
Because they're not like me in the way that they would find creative ways to use a spoon. I'm just odd, and I like to find new ways. I like to find new ways to use things.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just chilling in my house and I'm like, how should I eat my yogurt today? And I'll pick up the knife. Listen.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. There has been times where my mom has forgot to pack, she packed me a pudding cup, and she wouldn't pack a spoon in it, but she'd pack a knife, and I'd be like, well, guys, this is about to get interesting.
Overall, I have to go for the spoon.
Yeah, I mean, the spoon's just the obvious choice here. I mean, anybody who doesn't think it's the spoon, they don't know what they're talking about. They aren't creative like us, that's for sure.
Like I said, I'm a hungry girl, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you can get mass quantities, and we know some of our friends, they like those mass quantities.
Try eating soup with a fork.
I mean, just think about, you know what's absolute craziness to me is that we go to restaurants, like Chinese restaurants, and we eat rice with a fork, and it just falls through.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
there's a spoon right there that would literally be easier to eat the rice with.
Spoon is the obvious
I think about
choice.
this all the time. These are just my random thoughts when I used to drive before But anyway. But I was thinking about that the other day, and it's just why wouldn't we go for the spoon? And I think it's
That's
just
a good
because,
point.
back in the day, the proper thing to do was to have different, we had seven forks
There's a
and
salad
seven
fork.
spoons. But I think that needs to change. It needs to be the spoon for the rice. I mean, it's
spoon.
obvious.
I mean, the spoon is just so useful in so many ways. It's just a miniature shovel.
Yeah,
like
it's
I
a
said
shovel.
before.
I was thinking about this the other day. The spoon's the shovel, and the fork's the rake or the pick, and then the knife is that thing that people use to crack things out. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't we use the spoon more than we do? I feel like spoons are just more for liquids, but it could be used for so much more.
Oh,
It's that time.
there is the bell. When we come back, we will have a new guest that may change our opinion.
Welcome back, and today our special guest is Zach Miller.
Zach, how are you today?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. How was your fifth period?
Good.
Pretty good. Zach, what do you feel is the best silverware option, a spoon or a fork?
I use a fork more often than I use any other utensil. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's because I like a fork better than a spoon.
And why do you find that? What is wrong with the spoon?
I don't think there's anything wrong with the spoon. I just don't like switching utensils, and I normally pick up my fork first. So I
You're
just
telling me you eat soup with a fork.
I don't like soup.
What if you needed to stir your coffee? Would you use a fork?
I don't drink coffee.
Any type of liquid, any type of drink. You're mixing a drink.
I don't mix drinks. I buy drinks that are already mixed.
He's just unhealthy, folks. That's what we
that's what it is here. Okay, but
I think your example was too specific.
if you could think about it, all right, like, what if all the forks? Okay, think about this. So, our school is like really strict about like knives. We don't have any
Yes.
knives. Okay.
Yes.
So say one day they're like, well, the fork's dangerous too. Like when my mom was in school,
They would
someone got
never say
stabbed
that.
with a fork. I'm pretty sure she told me that. And
No one would ever
so,
say
like,
a fork is
they
too dangerous.
take away those forks, okay? And we only have spoons. And one day we have chicken for lunch. Just chicken.
That's unreasonable. That would never happen.
Can you cut the chicken with that fork? Could you? If
Yeah,
you really
yes,
wanted
you
to.
can. You
And
can.
could
I
you-
cut my chicken for lunch today with my fork. I did. Yes.
I meant spoon. Well, I meant spoon. What do you think you could cut it with a spoon as well?
Yeah, but you can't stab it to pick it up.
Okay, but you could. That's the thing. You could.
No, I
If
don't
you
think.
really wanted to, you could right in.
And cut it in half again. Yeah.
Zach, in our last podcast, you made sure to state that you are an athlete and you eat a lot.
Yes.
With a spoon, it is in fact a miniature shovel, and you can get a lot more for your load.
If you eat really fast, your body doesn't digest food properly, and if you eat really fast, you actually think you're not hungry because your brain takes 15 minutes to process how long it takes food to
Did-
make you fill up.
Did I say eating fast?
You inquired that a food is a shovel, so if I'm taking bigger bites, that means I'm eating my food faster.
No, simply bigger bites. Mass quantity.
Plus, manners requires that I do not look like a pig at a table.
All right, I'm about to throw some down here. Ready? So, say you're at hockey, because I know you like hockey, right?
I do, in fact, eat my rice with a fork, yes.
Okay, but it's just gonna. fall
Hockey does
through.
not give you a spoon.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because I use my spoon for my rice because you get more.
I don't use the spoon.
So you're telling me that you pick it up with your fork and
Yes.
let all that rice just fall right back through.
And then I eat it on my next bite, yes.
But that doesn't even make sense. Does that make sense to you, Haley?
No, that's what I was saying previously. You get a bigger bite. Say you're eating a salad, but your salad has bacon in it. You're
If
gonna
you eat a
miss.
salad with a spoon, that is the most
Ex-
absurd thing I've ever heard in
Excuse
my
me,
life.
sir. We're hosting this podcast today. You don't need to be rude and interrupt me.
Yeah, she was just stating her opinion, and she has the freedom of speech.
Salads are meant to be eaten with a fork. Thus, the reason there is
okay,
a salad
but
fork.
Somewhere in the world, they don't have forks.
And what if your salad has bacon? You are
Where do you
missing
inquire
all
that
of
they do not have forks?
Excuse me, sir. You do not need to interrupt me.
You're yelling.
My voice hasn't been raised once.
That's
The spikes on
That's
the voice memo shows differently.
Listen. All I'm trying to say is if you're hungry and you're eating a food, you can eat more with the spoon. Say you're eating something saucy, right? All that sauce is gonna fall through your spoon, and you're not gonna
I
get
don't
all
like
that.
really saucy stuff.
That's a lie.
That's
That is such a lie.
How are you going to eat spaghetti?
people actually eat spaghetti with a spoon.
I've never seen somebody eat spaghetti
I
with a
eat
spoon.
spaghetti with a spoon.
The spoon they give you is actually not made to be eaten with that. The spoon they give you is spin
I know
on.
what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. But I'm just saying, if you wanted to, you could eat spaghetti with a spoon.
Exactly. If you wanted to, it'd be illogical.
Okay, but
If you wanted to eat soup, you can't eat that with a fork.
listen.
I really don't like
The
soup.
thing
so-
is, though, that you could eat more with a spoon than you could with a fork. Like
That's
you
not
could,
true.
you could eat so. Like if you
That's
really
not
wanted to, you could eat these things with a spoon.
Think of some
I
of
mean,
the think
nobody
of, think of some of the things you eat with a spoon. Could you eat them with a fork too, besides soup?
Yes, probably.
Soup and cereal. Could
I
you
could
eat them
cut
without?
things with a spoon. In fact, people do it all the time for their
You can
children.
cut stuff with a
You
fork.
can stab things if you really want.
That's
to.
not true at all.
Yes, you
It's-
can.
it's a
because
s- it's a
some
spoon.
spoons are tip. Some spoons have tips, but you can't eat liquids with with a fork, and you can't do certain things with a fork. But you have more
What
to do
things
with a spoon
what
than
things
do
can't
a
you do
fork.
with a fork that you can do with a spoon besides eat
Soup.
liquids?
Cereal.
Besides eat liquids.
You can cut
You can
things
slay with a fork.
with a spoon.
That's not even. That's
You can cut with a spoon.
You can cut with a fork.
Exactly, but I'm saying you can do it with a spoon. You can't scoop with your fork.
Yes, you can. I do it all the time when I eat
then,
mac and cheese.
Zach, I'll bring some soup in here and you can eat it with your fork.
I don't like soup.
That's
I've
not
said
what
that
I'm saying.
multiple
Okay, then I'll
times.
bring in some cereal.
See, the problem is you're basing it on what
Cereal,
you like
that's
to
just-
eat
that's
rather
just
than the
illogical to
actual
eat cereal with a
logic
spoon.
behind what you would use.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a logical answer. It's
Yeah,
not
you're
whether or
basing it off of
not.
what you eat.
If you're bringing a logical answer into it, have you ever seen anybody eat cereal with a fork? No, that is dumb. Why would anybody attempt to eat something like that with
Exactly,
holes
you
in
can't
it?
do it. You can't do it.
Everything else besides soup and cereal, you can eat with a spoon.
We'll name
fork.
something you can't eat with a spoon.
I would never, ever in my life eat spaghetti with a spoon because
possible.
A, it would be a lot messier.
But it's
I'm-
possible.
I'm
That's the
asking.
point.
Yeah, that is not what I
B,
asked.
I would not.
On what you would do.
I would not.
It's
I would not eat
possible.
salad. Okay, but if that's the sense, then you can eat spoon.
Yeah.
You could eat soup with a fork. You could not.
Would not
No, you
cause any
can't.
liquid. That's-
You
I don't.
cannot.
I don't drink the broth anyways.
Okay, this isn't about what
It-
you eat. It is about what.
You can drink the
Tomato
broth.
Logic behind
You
it.
can drink the broth. I've seen people do that.
That tomato soup, just pure tomato soup.
Dip a
Have-
grilled cheese in it.
That wasn't a factor. That was not a
You aren't
factor.
thinking about the logic here. You're basing it off of what you would do.
Why would you stab something with a round object?
Now I'm listening.
Well, you
said-
can.
you said-
random person.
that's
you
not
don't know
logical.
What they like to eat. Okay.
Okay,
All right. Base it off of that. Say,
I'm listening.
Okay, so say your name's like Joe. You don't know their opinions, what they like to eat. So, like, would you, if you had to, like, cut with a spoon?
No,
Would you eat soup with a fork?
no. Same as I would not cut with a spoon.
So he's basically just gonna starve
Yeah, he's
because
basically
he
gonna
wants to
starve.
be
The
right.
point is that you could do more with a spoon than you could with a fork, and that's just
You
the
can't
logic.
you can't
That's
disagree
logic.
with it. It would be unethical for you to sit here and say that we're wrong.
I do disagree with your
But
statement.
we haven't said necessarily that the spoon's better. We're saying
No,
that,
that was the whole point of the argument. You did say that the
Yeah, but-
utensil, the spoon, is more superior.
Sir, if you could stop interrupting me, I'm simply saying that it is possible to eat just about anything with a spoon. While if you look at the fork, it is impossible to eat tomato soup with your fork.
It's not impossible. It would just take a lot longer time.
No, it's impossible.
That's not true.
It's impossible.
The liquid falls
How
through.
once you get to
The
bottom,
liquid also coats the metal part, so that therefore just a tiny amount of
yeah,
the
but
liquid is coming
once
out
you
at
get
a
to the
time.
bottom, it won't be able to reach it.
This is absolute nonsense.
He just wants to be right.
You just want to be right because we beat you last time. You said you wouldn't want to take another.
I can eat
round.
everything except for two things with a spoon or a fork. I cannot
Okay,
eat
and you
everything
could literally
except
eat
for
everything you wanted to with a spoon.
That's not true.
Everything.
Okay, then name
you
something.
can.
We've asked you multiple
Without-
times.
Okay, steak.
Yeah,
Easy.
I
I
could literally cut steak. With
I don't think you could. I would like to see that.
And you could stab a piece of steak with a spoon.
You also have to put table manners into account for this because
Well, what I'm saying is, even when you eat your steak with a fork, you still use a knife.
exactly, I can't stab with a spoon.
Yes, you can.
No, you cannot.
Yes, you can.
Let's use the spoons that the school gives us. They are perfectly round. You cannot stab anything
Well,
with
that's
that.
because of
That's-
safety issues, but that doesn't mean like at normal restaurants they give you regular spoons and like
They're not really pointed. They're still rounded. They're just more of an oval shape.
And if anything, if I'm eating my steak, I would actually consider using my spoon because I get more of the marinated steak. I get more of the flavor.
if we're taking like table manners into account here, they will always give you like multiple different like
There's a reason they give
utensils.
you 2 forks and 1 spoon.
Because like the school gives us the rounded spoons because they're made just for liquids and the regular ones are just for like, stirring. So we've got to take that into account here. Like, there's certain silverwares for certain foods. I mean, restaurants give us those.
I'm just saying that
saying
a fork is
If you
used
really,
more.
really wanted
than a spoon.
to, you could stab something with a pointy spoon.
Okay, exactly. You said if you really, really wanted to. When you go to a restaurant, what do you find yourself using more? Your fork or your spoon? Be absolutely
spoon.
honest.
This isn't
My
about what
spoon.
we use more. It's about
No,
the logic.
no.
It's about the logic.
No, the logic behind it
It's-
would be if you get a salad, you use a fork to eat your salad. If you get chicken, you use a fork
I
to
don't
eat your
have
chicken.
but the thing is, like, you could if you wanted to. So what?
You
is the
asked
best
what the
silverware?
best silverware was. What is the silverware that
Being
you use
completely
more?
honest, I use the spoon more. You simply get more of the flavoring on the spoon because it's made to scoop. You scoop up the spices that were made to cook such product, and that can get on your spoon. Your fork, it simply falls through.
I actually use my spoon quite often at a restaurant. I barely use forks because I always end up giving my two
Caitlin,
forks
that is
away.
not true. I have been to a restaurant with you on
A
homecoming, and I have
singular
watched you use nothing
restaurant,
but
singular.
a fork.
He's taking notes. But the thing is, the question isn't like what would you do. The question is like
Exactly.
You had to think about it.
You guys
You
are
had to
saying
break it down.
that you would. That is a lot of what you
No,
guys have
no,
said.
No, that is what
Look at
you
the
have
whole.
been
Look at the
saying.
whole area as a population.
Yes, exactly. If you have to look
If you
at it as
took
a whole,
if you took
spoons
10
obviously
if you took 10 people to a restaurant and every single person of them got a steak, do you honestly think
Okay,
that
but
more,
that's an unfair thing. Because what if everyone goes to a restaurant and gets soup? That's just an unfair example.
Yes, but also like,
What do you want a fair example to be?
Table manners.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. I have never eaten mac and cheese with a
Okay,
spoon.
but like you said, table manners. Like a person's gonna go to a restaurant and just be like, "I'm gonna use my fork today for the fun, or the spoon today for the fun of it." Like, you just have to like. It's not what you would do, but like if you really had to think about it, like what you could use more. Like we're not saying what's my favorite spoon, like utensil, like that I use every day. Like obviously I'd choose the fork. Like a fork you do use more because that's. Like,
I don't.
That's like typical like manners.
Therefore,
like,
the
I
fork
eat
is
salads
better.
every day though but it's just like normal to eat it with a fork. So why would I use a spoon? But like when I think about it, I'd obviously choose the spoon because I feel like it could be used more.
Then use the spoon.
That's just what. But that's the question. It's if you had to break it down, what would you choose? Not what like you would use every day because obviously
You asked me when I sat down, what was the best utensil?
Am I right?
And by what I use my more.
You're thinking about this the wrong way, Zippy.
Yes.
It's not what you would personally choose yourself. Like, everybody's going to choose the fork because at school here, when we eat these lunches, you only have foods with a fork, basically. Half the time
I would
on-
choose the spoon.
Like, I eat a lot of foods with a spoon, but every day I eat salads that I need a fork for. But that's not the point. The point is, what if I had to think about it and I had to break it down and I just needed one utensil, I'd choose the spoon. Like, no matter what, I'd choose the spoon. Even if I had to eat a salad with a spoon, I'd choose the spoon. Against all table manners, that would be my choice.
I would never choose a spoon.
I would. Well, go back to our example of mac and cheese. You would get so much more flavoring.
And the rice.
If you use-
you have to think about the rice, Zippy. You gotta think about the rice.
My rice sticks together because I put a lot of yum yum sauce on
Yeah,
it. Therefore,
me
it
too.
doesn't
Then
fall
you,
through it.
sir, are an outlier.
That's
you-
what
you
I've been
keep-
trying to say, but you guys keep telling me I'm wrong.
What are you trying to say?
I said that I thought a fork was better, and you told me all the things I couldn't eat with a fork. I literally didn't say anything about the spoon, bad about the spoon. I just said that I thought a fork was more superior.
You literally told us everything that was wrong with the spoon. You sat here and you were like, "We can't eat a salad with a spoon."
Try eating a steak
Try eating a steak with a spoon.
You told me to try eat soup with
And
a
then
spoon.
we had to hear about
Exactly.
what foods
Exactly.
you
I
would
gave
eat
an
a
I
spoon
gave an
with.
I gave an
We had to
example
hear
of
about
what a
you
fork
eat.
is better for.
Quite frankly, I don't care what you eat, Zippy. I care whether you choose the spoon or the fork.
I think we need to go to get a pull.
Oh no, it's pull time.
It's pull time. We'll be back. And we are back. It was a close call, but ultimately the spoon won.
It was pretty close, not even gonna lie to you, but a lot of people had really good points that we didn't even know. Like, you could use the spoon for so much more. Like, you can cut things with a spoon, people were saying, so it's not just us. But if people, you have to pitch it a certain way. You have to say, if you had to choose one, what would you choose? Not which one do you use every day, because it's a big difference. Am I right, Haley?
Yes. And Zippy, to help your cause, someone did say to eat the soup, you can use the bowl. Which we didn't take that into account.
I mean, like, if
so
you
just
really wanted
helping your
to-
argument.
I said you could drink it.
I mean, that is not good table manners. Like you said, we have to take manners into like certain account here.
I don't really know much about soup because I don't like it at all. I think I've had maybe one bowl of soup in my lifetime.
Zippy is soup incompetent.
I hate warm liquids. I can't stand them.
Well, there you go, folks. Zach hates warm liquids, and that is our podcast today. Spoons or forks. Thank you.